Okay, now I've gone ahead and wiped off the rest of the residue off of the top of the table, and I'm going to show you how to seal the grout. And you just basically put the grout sealer on the top, make sure it gets into every bit of the grout. And you need to put another glove on, so I just spread it around with my hands. Make sure it penetrates into every bit of the grout. I usually put 2 coats on. I put a coat on last night when it dried, and this is the second coat. Just making sure it gets into every bit, and you can tell because the grout kind of gets darker than it was before. So and I leave it on a couple of seconds. Make sure it really penetrates in there. There we go. Looks like it's gone into every bit of it. I don't see any bit that's lighter than, any grout that's lighter colored than the rest. And then I just take a towel, dry it off. And that's it. Now some people go ahead and they cover the top with some resin, seal the top, make it level. They want it really level. You can do that, but I'm going to, since it's got mirror on it, mirror tiles, I'm going to not put anything on top of it. Just tried to leave it pretty flat. It's pretty flat. And I'm going to engrave the top of the mirrored tiles with the same design as I have on the drawer fronts. And then we'll tape it off and paint it. So this is the design I have on the front of the drawer fronts. I'm going to show you how I did that. Put this back in there. You'll need a Dremel and diamond burr drums. I've got 2 that I use. Actually, I got a whole set that I use. Some of them are missing. Some I've worn out. Some I've got other stuff in here. But basically you get a box about this big. And every hole is filled with diamond burrs. There's different widths and thicknesses. And I have them separated out. But you get all different kinds like this. different thicknesses. Some I've worn out a little more than others, using them to grind down the back of my plate pieces to make them more flat, more level, more the same height. But you get quite a few of them. And I think it cost me $12 with free shipping. Might have been a little more than that, but it wasn't more than 15. And some of these, you don't get all of these. Some of these I've had left over from other sets that I bought. They wear out over time. But you get quite a few of them. And different sizes, different shapes. Round ones. If you just type in eBay diamond burr tips or bits, you should get a whole listing of them. But yeah, I use this one quite a bit. There's a smaller one. I've pretty much worn it out. The big one, here's the middle size one. And I like to use this one. And I have a round one on here somewhere. At any rate, they're fairly simple to use. And I like to put all the round ones back in the same container. They take up too much room in there. And they're hard to get in and out. So, anyways, that's what we're going to use to engrave the top. And you just put your bit in. I'm not going to use this one to start. I'll probably use the smaller one, smaller, rounder bit. It's a little squirrelier, but it's still, I like to use it. And then if you want, you can use a Sharpie. I don't like to use a Sharpie because when you wash it off, the black gets on the grout. So you could use any color you want, but it's a pretty basic design. I'm just doing little 5-petal flowers with a dot in the middle and then a little like heart-shaped leaf on there. And get to it. It's easier if you hold your Dremel like this and just decide where you want to start your pattern. I'm going to start mine from the corner right here. First I'm going to draw some vines. Pretty generic. And you just use light pressure. You don't have to press really hard. Barely touch it to the tip, and you'll get that etched look. and fill it in. And then you just continue on that way with your design until it's all done. Really pretty basic, pretty generic. I mean, it's a little time consuming, but I like the effect that it gives. And it makes your work a little different than somebody else's. For the drawer fronts, what I did is to make them a little more stable, a little bit more not so fragile around the edges, because grout tends to, when you don't have a border around the edge, the grout over time, especially being a drawer going in and out, it will get knocked off and pieces will fall out. So what I did is, instead of grouting around the outer edge, I used wood filler, and I patted it down in there and kind of fabricated an edge around there. And the wood filler is almost the same color as, well, this drawer's been painted, but the wood filler is almost the same color as the grout. I have a bunch of stuff in this drawer, but as you can see, it's pretty much looks just like the grout. And the wood filler I used was Elmer's. It's got stuff all over it, but it was Elmer's Wood Filler Max in white. And it pretty much matches the Poly Blend Sanded Grout in antique white. That's what we used. That's what I used on the top of my table. So I'm going to go ahead and stop the camera, but I'm going to go ahead and etch my design around the drawer and etch the mirror in the top, and I'll be back to and then I'm going to tape off the top with painter's tape and get it ready to paint. So I'm going to stop the camera here, let my my grout sealer dry, and then finish my designs, and then I'll be back and we'll paint it and I'll show you the finished product.